The topic, I'm going to repeat it because very important, extremely important, and may Allah save us because we are in a severe fitna, big time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم والتابعين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد اللهم نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم نعوذ بك من فتنة المحيا والممات ومن فتنة المسيح الدجال ومن فتنة عذاب القبر آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. أما بعد. Yesterday, because what you see in Egypt, what you see in Syria, what you see all over, I tell people today as a duty as a Muslim, you cannot live and you do not ache for what's going on. Because today we're going to another level of fitna when humanity is lost. Humanity. Even put Islam aside, humanity. When we lost humanity, when we lost this feeling Allah give us. You see, if I'm walking in the street and I see an accident, nobody check what religion of the person is injured. Nobody care where he's coming from, which country. But as humanity, I'm seeing a person is wounded or need help. That's it. This basic humanity. By the way, the basic humanity is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put certain rahmah in our heart. And yesterday, or the day before, I was thinking about something very simple. Very simple. Because I try to always try to take it and look at it from a simple point of view. You remember the man who came and he was visiting Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was an Arab, meaning Bedouin or whatever from some area. And he see Rasulullah sallam play with Hassan and Hussein. And Rasulullah sallam hugged them and kissed them. And he said, oh ya Rasulullah, I have 12 kids. I never kiss any one of them. What Rasulullah sallam replied is really shocking. If you hear, and this Rasulullah, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, we did not send you except mercy to mankind, but look to the message. Very, very, very powerful. He said, what do you want me to do if Allah snatched the rahmah from your heart? Ooh. Not giving your kids a kiss? Is Allah snatched the rahmah? This is really a big topic. You see, look at the incidents, look how very insignificant according to us. And look at the answer. The answer is big. What you want me to do if Allah snatched the rahmah from your heart? This is big sentence. Very big. What we learn from that? What about the hadith of Rasulullah about the woman, the whore from Bani Israel? The one, she was traveling and she started drinking from a well of water and she find a dog, yalha, meaning a dog is very thirsty. She said, the dog he need what I need. She take her shoes, she put it to the well, she gets some water, she give it to the dog. Allah forgive her sins. And what about in contrast again, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, a woman went to Jahannam, hellfire. For what? For a cat. She put her in a closet. She did not let her go, and she not feed her. I'm trying to show you how Islam is containing the ultimate caring and mercy for everyone. Cat, a dog, animal, bird, nature, environment, each other as a humanity. What about the man who came to kill Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? And when Rasulullah wake up, they find the companion is screaming and putting this man in the sun. His hand is tied. What the first thing Rasulullah did? He said, why you not put him in the shade? And he commanding the people to get him some milk and some water. And he give him drink. A man coming to killing you, and you give him a drink, and you put him in the shade. This our teacher. This our teacher. And now, let's come to the main topic today. When human being, killing human being, like not even like killing chicken. If you watch Al Jazeera Mubashir, and you watch what's going on, and you see innocent people, innocent, and two, and not only that, and the using a bullet is banned, internationally banned. The using tear gas is banned. It burn you. When the sanctity of a woman or a man or a child or elder doesn't mean nothing. Let me tell you something else. Your sister died. Your mother died. The moment she died, we cover the body. And once the person is dead, we do not even call it by name. Give me the body. Give me the amana. What word amana in Arabic meaning? The trust. Because it's not belong to me. It's belong to Allah. By the way, the body is belong to Allah. And once a person is dead, this body has right. Muslim, non-Muslim, whatever, I don't care. The body has right. We have no right to touch. Even if you are your own sister or mother, if you give her a wash and you give her a ghusl, you're not allowed to see her private part. Imagine. You're not allowed to touch it by your hand. You get a towel and you rub your hand. And when you give the wash, you wash with the towel, not with your hand. And you make sure you have a team and you have a sheet cover the body. Male and female alike. Look at, again, the sanctity of a body. But we have a sanctity of a soul, sanctity of a body. And what's happening in Egypt, break all the rules. No sanctity for body, no sanctity for soul. We have one more, and no sanctity for masajid. No more. Masjid doesn't mean nothing. Did you ever heard about in the history? I can show you, if you Google, how many movie is done in a Western society from very authentic story about a criminal. He go knock on the door of a church, and he said, please keep me inside. They're running after me. And the priest protect the man or the woman from the people who are running after them. And sometimes this person end up living in a church for years to come. And the priest refused to give the person. And no society, no power, no army can enter the church. Because the church has sanctity. It's not the church, it's any door of worship. And now we call ourselves a Muslim in called Muslim country, and masajid has nothing. Nothing. You can go, you can burn the masjid. You can burn the masjid with the dead people. and they burn the masajid with the wounded people, alive people. Imagine. This is authentic news. Happened 2 days ago. How? How me as a human being watching all this is not an accident, is not one time, is many times. You add to that something else, you will not believe it. You know what happened? And the family member go to pick up the body, and the government said, you want the body? And they burn it to make sure no evidence. You see? What they do? They tell you, sign a piece of paper, sign a death certificate. And when the family tried to sign, they find a sentence. It said, so and so commit suicide. And after that, the politician come, the leader supposed to be of the country, coming in the news and said they're attacking us. And after that, they lie in the amount. After that, body has been kidnapped. Tell me now, where are we? If you are in the jungle of Africa or in the jungle of anywhere, you know, sometimes the people say, this is the rule of a jungle. Wallahi, jungle has a rule. Wallahi, jungle has a rule. Do you know, I forget the name of it, one jungle, at least, or two jungle, they discover this jungle is like located in a small island. And they find the animal develop a certain pattern. What the pattern? They have a certain pattern. By this way, they will not attack each other. Why? Because for the existence. Imagine the animal develop a democratic way to live with each other. You see, I'm laughing, but I'm laughing because it's tragedy. The animal has no degrees, they do not go study in the West, and they know how to live with each other with harmony. Animal. Animal. Sometimes when I want to insult somebody, I said, you are like animal. Wallahi, today, if I insult some of these people and said animal, the animal will cry. Wallahi, the animal will cry and said, please don't insult me. Don't insult me. And if I tell you the people, they're not a people. They lost humanity. Sometimes I said, what kind of creature is that? Now you have more calamity in the top of that. What the calamity in the top of that? The person who killed you, his name is Ahmed Abdullah Hassan Mustafa. You want to decorate all of this top? Now you go to Shaykh al-Azhar, the most learned person, the spokesman in behalf of Islam. Allahu Akbar. If you listen to his own talk, you wonder if this person a Muslim or not a Muslim, is a human being or not a human being, or he is belong to this life or belong to different planet. Did he believe he going to die and meet Allah? Is he not aware? Is he mentally disturbed or something wrong? Is he taking drugs? I doubt it. I doubt it. A human being with a basic common sense, not even sheikh, can come with a talk like that. Now we have a big question now. How come human being, call human being, after that you call them a Muslim, after that you call them a learned people, and come with such things? I tell you, bad news. Very bad news. This called blindness. And blindness from Allah. Let me give you more bad news. This is why I share all this topic with you. And I make it a topic. When you have almost half of the population agree, meaning 30, 40 million, They watching this and agree. How? How? Do you know what it means? You add to that the ultimate. When half of the population or a big portion of the population watching and agreeing. Again, this is called blindness. Where blindness coming from? If you remember in the old days, I used to explain to you, you have weakness and you have sins and you have the disease of the heart. As a human being, Allah created us with weakness. As a human being, we have to commit sins. We will never be perfect. Never, never, never. Whatever, how pious you are, how close to Allah, how you are, you always will going to be having mistakes. This is normal because we're not a messenger and prophets and we're not an angels. Angel will never commit mistakes. Messenger and prophet is protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we not. Now, but I always tell you, there's a huge difference between sins and weakness and disease of the heart. For example, arrogance is a disease. Stingy is a disease. Selfish and greed is a disease. All these diseases generate veils. And most of all, hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Today you find people, his name Abdullah, Hassan, Muhammad, Abdul Rahman. But tell him, let's obey Allah. He said, listen, you know we are in 21st century. What are you talking about? We pass all this time. You pray, you fast. That's it. Don't be too much. Don't go backward. You want us to go backward in a camel time? Believe it or not, you have a big majority of called Muslim. Do that. I ask you, for yourself, only go to verse 6 to 16. 6 to 16. Read it carefully from Surah Al-Baqarah. It's so beautiful. And be careful. Listen to me careful, because this is one of my first lessons, believe it or not, when I was 16. And I never forget it. No, really. Be super careful because I never forget it. Why? When you look at the Qur'an, Qur'an is amazing. This message is repeated over and over and over and over in Qur'an. I will make many paragraphs and write up about it. It's similar to heedlessness. Is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah veiled them. Allah sealed their heart. Sealed, not closed. Why? What's the difference between closed and sealed? Closed can be open, but sealed will never be open. Allahu Akbar. I want you to be careful because from now on, this knowledge, you need it in your life. You need it. You desperately need it. Even if it's your own father or mother. It doesn't matter. Look to the verses, what it say. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And among the people who say, we believe in Allah and we believe in the Day of Judgment. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. And they're not a believer. Who's talk like that? This Allah. This not hadith da'if. No, this Allah, this Quran. Allah make it straight. They call, they are a believer. Allah said no, they're not a believer. The translation in Quran, believe not. Believe not. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Wait. I hope I don't make mistake. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَهُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون. They bluff, they make believe. To whom? To الذين آمنوا. Meaning they make believe we are with you. You know. But Allah said, and they do not plot and plan except against themselves. وما يشعرون. And they do not feel it. They do not feel it. شعور. شعور coming from feeling. Allah said they do not feel it. Some translations they said you do not know. No. They do not feel it. وما يشعرون. What happened? في قلوبهم مرض. In their heart is a disease. فزادهم الله مرضا. Allah increased their disease. Why, ya Allah? By this way, Allah said, they do not feel it. And after that, Allah said, okay, why, ya Allah, you do that? بما كانوا يكذبون. They are a liar. This is what Allah said. You see, you always have to say, صدق الله العظيم. Allah say the truth. That's why you can meet your father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie, your relative. Don't have a feeling in here. It's not a love story. It's very straightforward. Why? For example, it doesn't matter who they are. I'm supposed to call myself a Muslim. I pray, I believe in Allah, I believe in the Day of Judgment, but tell them, please, let's do this according to Allah. You do not know. Let's follow Allah. Now, when they act like that, what it means, believe it or not, they put themselves above Allah wa Rasul. This is why, like my father used to tell me something so beautiful. If you go to a person in the middle of zina, he's committing adultery, and tell him what you're doing is halal, he said, shut up, it's haram. He's doing it. I saw it even in my life, somebody sitting and drinking alcohol, and somebody argue with him. He said, this halal? He said, no, it's haram. Why? The person is a sinner, but he knows he cannot lie against Allah. Imagine he's weak, he's a sinner, but he has iman. You see? But the other side, when a person claims, I have iman, but they deny Allah, astaghfirullah al-azim. You see, for example, you can say, okay, what you tell me is true, but I'm weak. It's different. It's different. But they deny. Big time. This is why even when you look, okay, if you go to a person who is lazy or his iman is weak and he miss salah, still he's a believer. But if you go to a person and tell him, make salah, you know, salah, it used to be in the old days, not for us. You see, I heard it in my life. A lot of Egyptians, believe it or not, they believe so. They said salah only for the companion and they did it. We do not have to do it. This was for an era. We misunderstand Qur'an. And these people, believe it or not, is very high intellect with a high degrees. By the way, what's the point? The point is, they are a liar. Allah said it, not me. They lie to whom? Look what's happening. Go to the verse after that. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And if you tell them, don't do mischief in earth, they said, no. قَالُوا بَلَى إِنَّا مُصْلِحُونَ. We are the good people. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا We are the good people. بلى إنهم مفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون. Again, they are doing mischief, but they do not feel it. They do not feel it. Again. And the verse before I forget, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ. And they have severe torture of their own lie. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again, in the following verse, He said, they are the one who do mischief, but they do not feel it. I want to learn that. When you see all these people, the way they talk, they believe they are doing right. They believe it 100%. I want you to get it once and for all today. If Allah seal you, you cannot see the truth. Big time. You tell me now you are a Wakuland girl sitting somewhere in India and you can feel it and you do not know? How? Because Allah give you certain guidance. You do not. If you watch the people who killing, it's almost like happy about it. This is scary. Very scary. You know, in the old days, when somebody commit a crime and he have a death sentence, the person who going to implement the death sentence, he's doing it and he feels so sad. Even the person deserve it. We're not supposed to be happy about taking a soul down. Taking a soul down is not easy. It's a curse of Allah after that. I'm going to talk about it. Hopefully I do not forget. But I want to explain it to you. By this way, they do not feel it. Again, when you do mischief, you do not feel it. Now, bear with me now. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسِ. And if you tell them, be a believer like the believer, what the answer is? أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءِ. You will mind us to make us believe like the fool believe? Allah said, أَلَا أَنَّهُمْ هُمُ السُّفَهَاءِ. They are the fool. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But they do not know. I want you not ever forget this. This is my first teacher in my life. He said, لا يشعرون, لا يشعرون, لا يعلمون. They do not feel it, they do not feel it, they do not know it. Huh? You get it or not yet? They do not feel it, they do not feel it, they do not know it. Can you talk to them? Can you explain? Can you expect them to change it? No. Watch what will happen. After that, look what now, this is a big one. There's a big one. This is the final message now. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا. And if they meet you, everybody is so pious. Yes, salamu alaykum, alaykum salam. Everybody is pious. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ. And when they are with their own shayateen. Look at Allah. Allah subhanahu, I love Allah. Wallahi, I love Allah. Allah is amazing. He doesn't leave any point. Nobody can play game with Allah. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ. And if they are alone, they go to their own shayateen. قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. We are with you. We are buddy. With shayateen buddy. Okay? إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. We are just mocking them. Be backward. You know. What Allah said? Allahu yastahzi'u bihim. Allah mocking them. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. And Allah give them extra. Why Allah give them extra? To make them more blind. Imagine. And after that, what Allah said? أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى. Those the ones they bought the stray over guidance. Again, look at the beautiful explaining. You tell them, please, let's go to the road of guidance. No. Their stray is so big. They have it above Allah. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Allah used the word ishtara. They bought. They bought the stray instead of guidance. أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. They will never succeed in their business and they will never be guided. Imagine Allah said they will never be guided. You meet them, 10 years later you meet them, 20 years later you meet them, same. No, not the same. Their stray has become more difficult, more stronger. They become more arrogant. They become more stubborn. They become more blind. And the Quran can be recited. No big deal. They do Umrah, they do Hajj, they do Salah. But inside, they're not a believer. Is this not scary? Now, when you look at the Quran talk about this topic in detail in many verses in Quran. About if Allah sealed somebody, if Allah veiled somebody, and after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can tell you, can you let the dead hear? Can you let the blind see? Can you let the deaf hear? Very important. We are in it. We are in it, and it's going too fast. And this time, if you have little bit of Iman, Allah will increase your Iman and hold it tight. And if you have hypocrisy and disease in the heart, Allah will increase it. We are in it. And this why, without mentioning name now, King so-and-so, President so-and-so, Sheikh so-and-so, Allahu Akbar. I was telling people, you know what Allah is doing now? Everybody, Allah take his clothes off. What it meaning? Allah make everybody show his own true color. You know, really, I love Allah. You remember the hadith of the meaning of, if Allah loves someone, he will not take him until he fill his ear with the good deed he did. And if Allah hates someone, he will not take him until he hear the bad thing about him by his ear. And this takes us to another level. Imagine this Ramadan, how many oppressed women, child, learned, elder, weak, making dua and cursing so-and-so or cursing so-and-so. Is a story about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveling with a bunch of companions. And one of the companions, his mule or horse is acting up so bad, so bad. Keep beating the horse acting so bad. And after that, from the anger of the companion, he cursing the animal. After he cursing the animal, he tried to ride it. Rasulullah, he said, what are you doing? After you curse it, finished. Let it go. Finished. What it mean? I want you to go to the book Al-Imam al-Dhahabi. You can find it in the market, in internet or in the library, called The Major Sins. And the major sins by Imam Dhahabi, especially by Imam Dhahabi. Why? He has certain way of doing it so beautiful. There's too many books about major sins. But one of the best by Imam al-Dhahabi. You find we have in Islam sins. We have major sins. And we have certain acts make you cursed. When you study what the difference between sins, major sins and cursed, if Allah curses someone, it's finished. Finished. No tawbah, no forgiveness. It's finished. And believe it or not, one of them is killing. Killing innocent person without no right. This generates a killing. I heard it by my own ear. And I even give Ameen in Ramadan when people, what they did, some of them, in massive, 100,000 by million, was making dua in Ramadan against somebody by name and said, Allah, make the blood of the martyrs curse over him. When you study in Islam, this is one of the most powerful dua against someone. What it means, don't expect goodness from this person anymore. Finished. Finished. Especially if the people who make dua is Muslim, oppressed. They have right. They get hurt. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He promised in the word of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allah promised da'wat al-mazlum, the da'wah of the oppressed one. He has no veil between him and Allah. And Allah promised for this dua to keep going until it reach Allah. And Allah promised, He said, I will give you victory even after some time. And after that, Rasulullah, he said, اتقوا دعاء المظلوم حتى لو كان من كافر. Be careful of the dua of the oppressed one, even if he's not a Muslim. What is Muslim? The one who has right and somebody denying his right. What going in Egypt? What going in Syria? What going all over? Now, let me take you to the topic now. This is just introductory. You remember the famous hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he said, Al-Muslim kal-Muslim kal-Bunyan, Muslim to Muslim kal-Bunyan, يشد بعضه بعضا. Muslim to Muslim like a wall, like a pillar. They're supporting each other. Another hadith, مثل المسلم كالمسلم, كمثل body. The Muslim to Muslim, like the body. If one area ache, the whole body is ache. Let me share something with you. Be careful now. Can you think about yourself? Can you think about marriage? Can you think about child? Can you think about job? Can you think about nothing? At this moment, we have a duty. The minimum duty. What's the minimum duty? Ache. Ache. Ache for justice. Ache for this pure blood. Like one sister yesterday, she sent me a beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. You know what the picture of? Of bunch of faces of the people who died. And something common now. They find out all these people, even they died in a big situation. When they look at their faces, they're smiling. Big smile. Because they're innocent. They're innocent. Lucky them. I was talking to my sister and she told me, I said, listen, go to the street. Maybe you get lucky. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Wallahi, I'm not kidding. I said, what are you living for? Because if you're not living now to support the deen of Allah, to elevate the deen of Allah, at least to say the truth. What are you living for? Because we're supposed to be the supporter of the truth, the people who say the truth. Do you remember the famous hadith about Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi al Munkar? If you see munkar, change it with your hand. If you can't, change it with your tongue. If you cannot, actually is not to cannot. When you study the terminology, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطَعْ, meaning if you have no ability, فَبِقَلْبِكَ, with your heart, وَلَيْسَ وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ مِنْ خِثْقَالِ خَرْدَلٍ مِنْ إِيمَانٍ. And after that is no an atom of Iman. Now I meet you and I ask you, how are you? Oh, brother, I'm not married yet. What do you want me to do? I'm getting old. Another sister, she sent me an email. Oh, brother, I married for 1 year and a half. I don't have a child yet. I'm so depressed. My husband is depressed. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. People dying by thousands every day. People suffering. And you worry about yourself? At this time, you cannot. At this time, you cannot. You cannot. It become an obligation. It's a wajib. It's a wajib. Giving salam to the Muslim is a wajib. Caring for each other is a wajib. What is the word wajib? Wajib is a terminology a scholar generated after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When they stuck, they find something is so humongous, so big, is not recommended, is very highly recommended. But in meantime, they afraid to say that. And they afraid to say a fard because it's not a fard. And what they did what word wajib. Wajib meaning almost a must. A must. By the way, if you sneeze, is a must to tell you, Yarhamkumullah. If I see you, I have to give you salam. If you died, I have to give you ghusl and janazah. This called wajib to Muslim. And protect you in your blood and your honor and your family. This called wajib. This basic wajib. Today all this wajib is gone. Is gone. Is gone. Can I watch and have no feeling? Something wrong with me. Can I be busy about myself? Something wrong with me. But with a minimum to ache. Ache for them like is me. And make dua for them. And make dua for the whole ummah. Because let me give you now the final news, which is very bad. What you see, it will spread. It will spread all over. I have my own evidence. I have no time for it. There's many ahadith about that in a topic of dhulm. You find among this ahadith is if the Muslim sees dhulm and do not correct it, very soon Allah will send him a dhalim to teach him and let him test the same thing happen. What it mean? If we do not ache, support at least with dua or whatever we can, soon we will end up in the same place. And if we die, we become a dhalim, an oppressor, supporting oppressor. Thank Allah you're not Shaykhul Azhar. Because the head of the Azhar, he's in the front of Allah in big trouble. And thousand or even million of people cursing him and make dua against him. What else than that? And what else? It become, I consider we living now in the most darkest, shamest time ever happened in the history of Islam. Not of what happening, no. of what's happening from shuyukh. Because if the shuyukh silent about that, the big one, especially with caliber and names, you remember the famous hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? الساكت عن الحق شيطان أخرس. The one silent from the truth, he is a shaitan with no tongue. By this way, our duty today, leave the personal issue. We cannot. Think about the condition of the Ummah. Ache for the Ummah. Ache for the oppressed one. Make dua for the shaheed. Make dua for the wounded. Make dua for the sick. Make dua for the needy. Make dua for the one who oppressed. And whatever we can, we have to support. We have to. Is a duty. Is a duty. Is an obligation. And by the way, for you, you have to convey the message to your father, to the family. They like it, they don't like it, you convey the message. They do, they do not do, you did your job. Finished. You're in the front of Allah. You said, Ana bari from what they're doing. By the way, I have to convey the message. I have to convey the message. I have to convey the message. The maximum I can. Live the message. Live for the message. Convey the message. What people do is their own business. You did it. وَمَا عَلَى الرَّسُولُ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. The Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell him, you are only a warner. You did the balagh. You did the job. You convey it. We are in it, people. We in it. And it will roll fast. Very fast. And there's a big plot and plan against Islam and Muslim. And it's going fast, step by step. And why Allah will allow it? Because we deserve it. Because we are full of dunya, Allah will not allow it this much. And in the meantime, what you see, yes, in the front of you is zulm. But what hidden is rahmah. Rahmah. Because it's people who died. They died going to what? To Jannah, inshaAllah. And the people who are oppressed, they will say, Ya Allah, meaning Allah saved them from dunya. Because today we think, if I'm living comfortable, this life. If I have hardship, there's no life. Don't ever forget. Go back to the boy and the king. Watch it over and over again. The boy embraced Islam. He spread the message. The whole village spread the message. All of them died. No big deal. All of them. All of them. This history. It's not how much people live or die. Allah do not care. The victory again. Go to the journey of victory within. Verse of victory of the defeat within. What is victory? It's not to get the government. It's not to get the land. The victory to elevate the name of Allah in your heart. And to elevate the name of Allah the maximum you can. This is victory. To believe in Allah. To trust in Allah. To have iman and yaqeen in Allah. To have no fear except from Allah. To have the ultimate love to Allah. Now you have victory. And what's the ultimate victory? To go to Jannah. That's it. That's it. We are in it. And let me tell you, Allah bear witness, if you go to me, to my website, 2001 session, Crisis in the Ummah, my talk is the same. Even one of my nephew, he tell me, oh, my uncle, you always said it's coming, it's coming. I never believe it's coming this fast. Because everybody want to have dunya. If I lose my house, is a big deal. If I lose my job, is a big deal. But nobody care if I lose my iman, is a big deal. If you lose all the material, is a big deal. Is not a big deal. And this is why one of the famous dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma la taj'al musibatana fi dinina. Oh Allah, don't make my musibah in my deen. ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا. And don't make the dunya is the most important things we need. ولا مبلغ علمنا, and is not the way to achieve and to reach. واجعل آخرة هي دارنا, and make آخرة is our residence. والجنة هي مستقرنا, and Jannah is the final stage. والنظر إلى وجهك الكريم هو أملنا, and to look to your beautiful face is the most important things we need and our own wish. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. My dear sister in Islam, we are in it. We are in it. We are in it. Always beg Allah. Also, Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulub, ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم يا مصرف القلوب, صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. اللهم لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا, وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم من أرادنا وأراد الإسلام والمسلمين بخير فيسره إلى كل خير, ومن أرادنا وأراد الإسلام والمسلمين بشر فخذه أخذ عزيز مقتدر, واجعل تدبيره في تدميره. اللهم إن كنت منزل بأهل الأرض فتنة فاقبض روحي إليك غير فاتنا أو مفتونا يا رب العالمين. واللهم انصر دينك وأعز الإسلام والمسلمين, واعلي بحق كلمة الحق والدين, واجعلنا من أنصار الدين يا رب العالمين. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون, وسلام على المرسلين, والحمد لله رب العالمين. And also remember, always say, يا سلام, يا سلام, أعشنا بسلام, واجعلنا دعاة إلى السلام, وادخلنا قبورنا بسلام, واحشرنا إليك يوم القيامة بسلام, وأدخلنا دار السلام يا سلام, وأرنا وجهك الكريم وأنت راض عنا يا سلام. آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. And also I say, اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة التامة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. And also say, يا لطيف ألطف بنا وبالمسلمين يا رب العالمين, ألطف بنا وبالمسلمين يا رب العالمين, ألطف بنا وبالمسلمين يا رب العالمين. By this way, increase the dua to the whole ummah in every salah, in every time. And believe it or not, at this time, you can do qunut in every salah. Every salah. May Allah make us among those to elevate the deen of Allah. And oh Allah, don't make us among those who disgrace the deen of Allah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. جزاكم الله كل خير. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Ali ibn Abi Talib, what he said? He said, Islam حجة على العلماء وليس العلماء حجة على الإسلام. Meaning Islam bear witness against ulama, not ulama bear witness against Islam. What it mean in here? If you see a alim or a scholar and his view against Islam, you cannot take the scholar. Islam become an evidence against him because you have too many reasons. Too many, because what's happening beyond anybody, beyond. You have helicopter shooting people from the air, innocent people. Come on, they shooting you with a bullet, internationally banned. Once it enter you, it explode and burn you inside. And the person who's shooting you is not a regular shooter, a sniper. In America, the police and the special forces, they have a protocol. If somebody even with a gun coming to shoot you, they shoot first in the feet. First in the feet. After that in the hand. After that in the shoulder. And if it's too dangerous, now in the chest. These people is not going to any protocol, shooting in the head, in the eye, in the throat, in the heart. Nobody wounded anywhere. And you're shooting people in a short range with a shotgun. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You're burning dead people. You're burning wounded alive. Come on. And you have hundred and hundred and hundred of people, evidence. It's not a say of one person or two person. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allah has wisdom, this wisdom, to teach us adab of da'wah, to give him a chance. By the way, his action will be evident against him. What about why Allah veiled? I read it long time ago, almost 20, 30 years ago. When Allah hate a person, when Allah hate you, he veil you. And he make you more arrogant, more arrogant, more arrogant to really give you severe punishment. What about me? Why I suffer by you? This suffering can be a rahmah. What the difference between this and a disease or hurricane, earthquake? You see, people who really understand Islam, what we are in it now is rahmah. Is rahmah, big rahmah. At least 100 and 1,000 and million of people saying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Because if Allah leave it the way it is, you become comfortable. And if you become comfortable, lazy. After lazy, dunya. After dunya, you go to Jahannam. No, go to jail, go to the hospital, get killed, get tortured. And this way, you said, Ya Allah, and you go to Jannah. Because the success is not your job, is not your title, is not a happy life, is not a few kids and running around like crazy. Okay? No. The main thing is what? To go to Jannah, to elevate the deen of Allah. You don't want to elevate it? Okay. Allah will elevate it His own way. Everything has a wisdom. Nothing can happen without the knowledge and wisdom of Allah. And Allah has a sunnah. All this is sunnah. By the way, also because it's a trial. To do what? To differentiate. This is sunnah of Allah. Before major action will happen, Allah differentiate. What it meaning? Mu'min in one side, hypocrite in one side. Finished. Young lady, what's happening now is beyond your imagination. Too many layers. And at this time what we say, حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم إني مغلوب فانتصر. That's it. You understand me?